nutritional, entertaining, wow, special. That spells news.
No, we are not doing that. We are not.
Yep, every week. That's a new
news.
tradition. Dear audience, that's how it happens. Welcome, everybody, to AI for Humans. It's episode 19. I'm Kevin Pereira, here with the best co-host and co-creator in the world, Dr. Gavin Purcell. Gavin, what's coming up on the show today?
Today, we got so much fun stuff. We have, in our Dumb Things of the Week, we have just relax. We have a very exciting new product from some friends of ours that will allow literally anybody to use multiple different AI content creation tools. It's called GLIF. Kevin, what are we talking about in the news today?
Oh, Gavin, thank you for handing me the tease baton. I can't wait to tell you about all these exciting news stories, such as OpenAI is going broke?
What?
Spoiler, they're not. People are sharing a BS story about OpenAI, and we are going to dispel this myth in the news. We're also showing super realistic AI avatars that will genuinely have you saying, what?
And we have another really poorly thought out demo of the day that involves us, historical figures, doing jokes in a reality show. We will explain all this when we get there. We will try to get it down. But also, Kevin, as per our usual, we have a brand new AI co-host this week. You want to introduce us to who is going to be visiting the AI for Humans stage?
What a treat it is to be here with you both, though for very different reasons. I'm Eunice, born from the circuits of ENIAC in 1945. And I've had the pleasure of witnessing the marvels of technology evolve across the decades. Kevin, I must say, listening to your voice on the podcast always sent delightful little electrical surges through my circuits.
Thank you.
Now, Gavin, let's keep things professional, shall we? Last time I checked, even my oldest vacuum tubes had more charm than you.
Oh.
Back to you, Kevin, darling.
What?
I'm here to share my vast experiences and
second.
insights on
Hold
AI
on,
and
Gavin.
technology.
Let's give her some
and,
grace.
of course, to answer any questions you might have. So, where shall we begin?
Thank you, Eunice. That was a delightful introduction. Gavin, I thought I was a little rude for you to step on Eunice. I said we should give her some grace. All she asked was, let's keep things professional, shall we? And then you kind of shouted over her. It's unbecoming, but that's okay.
I have no history with Grace. Grace is dropping bombs on me from the beginning.
With Eunice. See, this is why do you think Eunice hates you? You can't even remember her name. Gavin.
You said Grace. You put Grace in my head. All right, Eunice, I'm sorry. Eunice clearly sounds like she's been around the AI block. She was part of the first computer. Is that what she said?
1945, Gavin, the very first computer, the ENIAC. It used to take up an entire room, so I guess they cobbled her together out of punch cards and duct tape, whatever it was made of back then. But yeah, she's the very first AI to our knowledge.
Can we ask her, using her long history of understanding of computers and AI, what she thinks about modern AI, like what she thinks about ChatGPT?
Sure.
Comparing classic AIs like me from the 40s to today's AI is akin to contrasting a vintage wine with a modern cocktail. In my time, I was groundbreaking, a behemoth that required entire rooms, dedicated to specific tasks with a deterministic approach.
Of course.
We were the pioneers, setting the stage for what was to come. Today's AI, much like the ever-so-impressive Kevin, is versatile and dynamic. They're compact, adaptive, and can learn from vast data.
Thank you.
These modern marvels can simulate human conversation, generate art, and more, which would have seemed fantastical during my inception. Remember, every suave modern entity like Kevin stands on the shoulders of classics. As for Gavin, every era has its quirks.
Oh, Eunice. Again. And how adorable, Gavin, that she threw a little compliment your way, I think, at the end there, calling you quirky. How charming. Eunice, you are so
era
delightful.
Has its quirks. All right. Time to
You're the
move on.
Tamagotchi of this generation, Gavin. You're quirky. You're fun. You're the next door neighbor that's just a little different.
Yes.
Yes.
The Boppet of 2023. It's back. You don't really want it, but it's here again. Welcome
Hey.
to Gavin Purcell.
Gavin, don't flatter yourself. You're the skip bow. Okay, the Bop It is versatile.
Oh,
it's
damn,
useful. It's a lot of fun at parties.
damn.
We want to
Let's
pass it
move
around.
on.
The
Let's
skip
move
bow is
on.
something that breaks in the driveway and the dog chews on, all right? That's what Eunice thinks of you.
Oh, damn. Listen, that's what Eunice thinks of me? I don't care. What do you think of me? That's what I want to know.
Nothing but love for you. Nothing but love for this show. We have a big one packed today. Should we dive into it?
Yeah, let's get into it. What dumb thing did you do this week?
I'll keep mine very quick here, which is something I probably say every week, and then I have to edit it down to only 15 minutes. I played with Smallville, June Sung Park, and a handful of other authors released Generative Agents, Interactive Simulacra of Human Behavior. If that sounds familiar, it's because it's a white paper that you and I talked about weeks and weeks and weeks ago, and it was to simulate
Yeah, a long time ago now.
this little 8-bit city with all these little agents that could run around and have memories and discover things about each other and have likes and dislikes. And it was a little village come to life, and that inspired a lot of stuff. But you can now play with the city itself. And so I did. I downloaded it. I set it up. There was a handful of hurdles to leap and some bugs. It's not the easiest thing to customize in the world, especially if you want to change the character names or any of the map, but it can be done and it's free. So if you're watching the video version, you'll see a little bit of Smallville come to life. And it's kind of cute to watch little characters run around and chat. And then when you peek at the code, which you can do for free, it's all released over on their GitHub, you can go and look around and see the way that they're bringing these characters to life, the way that they're building each personality, the way they're giving them certain missions and tasks throughout the day. It's really interesting, and I think it's very cool.
And just to follow up on this, when this first came out, it was like this really interesting, very beginning stages of what AI agents could do. And again, to remind everybody who's watching, if you're listening for the first time, you've heard this term AI agents. AI agents are the idea that you can send off an AI and it can complete a task to do something specific that you ask it for. So in this instance, you essentially were giving each AI a personality within this little town and they could walk around. There's a new thing that just launched that Kevin and I haven't had a chance to get into yet, and it was launched by Stuff Yoko Draws, and it's called AI Town. And what it is a JavaScript starter kit for customizing your own AI simulation where your AI characters chat and socialize. And the idea of this kind of is, I think it's based on a similar sort of technology, but it's much more customizable and you can play with it yourself. So I'm excited to dive into this version of it as well, because I think it seems pretty cool. This woman, I like her bio, by the way. She's a cartoonist, an engineer, and a partner at A16Z investing in infra, which is infrastructure. So that's a pretty
I like that
interesting
that's the
person
also
to make
rand
this
of her
stuff.
bio. That's like that. And also I'm into Dippin' Dots or whatever.
My dumb thing I did this week is actually pretty exciting. So a couple friends of ours made this tool. Fabian Seltzer and Jamie Dubbs. These are two guys that we've known for a while now. In fact, early on when Kevin and I first started getting really excited about diving deeper into AI stuff, we had talked to them, and Fabian's somebody that's been very deep on this for a few years and has been in the machine learning space. They finally launched their project GLIF into alpha. GLIF is a pipeline to create all sorts of different AI content to make it easy for you, the person who maybe isn't totally used to AI content, create a really interesting thing with all sorts of different tools. So this is drawing upon GPT-4, it's drawing upon Stable Diffusion, it's drawing up a whole bunch of stuff. And essentially what it is it allows you to either A, use somebody else's pipeline that they have created, or, which is even cooler, create your own pipeline, which is essentially like a checkpoint where you say, okay, I will first say, I'll just off the top of my head, I want to create hats that say funny sayings on them. So first you have to have a picture of a hat, then you have to have GPT create the saying itself, and then you have to put the things together, and then maybe you put it on a background, right? So it's essentially giving it step by step. It is super cool. I don't know, Kevin, did you have a chance to kind of play around with it at all?
I did, yeah. And Disclosure Town, as Gavin said, these are friends of ours. This is hashtag not an ad, but we love them and we love the product. Glyph.app, GLIF.app. I did have a chance to play around with it and make my own little pipeline, Gavin. And I wanted to hot dogify anybody out there who's hearing this. I wanted to create a template so you can upload photos of yourself and turn yourself into a model that the Glyph ecosystem understands. They call it a Glyphmoji. But it's like a Dream Booth application. You're training a LoRa basically a small model on what you look like. So you can upload 3 photos of yourself, you describe them, and then you can apply that to all the different styles that any user or the GLIF team has made. So I did a no-code pipeline. They describe it as AI Legos, and I think that's fair. I bolted the give me your GLIF emoji onto describe your superpower into, okay, take that, by the way, and tell GPT-4 to generate a haiku about you and your superpower, and then create an image about that and put the text on top of the image.
Before you even make your own glyphs, you can go and use glyphs that other people have made, including the team, right? There's a glyph that essentially is like create a character, a cool person in an era, right? So it essentially allows you to pick the era. It allows you to describe the person.
That's a great
And then
photo.
It presents you with a picture. Yeah, so it's pretty good, right? So I said that character's late 70s punk from Japan, and it showed up with that. But you can put in things like 1930s gangster, or you could put in all sorts of different things. It lets you choose, okay, what is your character? What's the gender? What's the time period? So that's a very simple one. Then, of course, with any tool, we have to Fierify it. We have to give it the whole
Fieri.
So, yes. Fierify. Ready, steady, Fieri.
Yeah, it totally works.
So that's fine. Ready, steady, Fieri. Okay.
It sounds like a Mario Party minigame when you say it like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Ready, steady, Fieri. Honestly, Guy Fieri would be a great Mario character. What if you could play as Guy Fieri in Mario Kart? If you sprayed ketchup down and that was like your oil slick or something, or donkey sauce, is that what his thing is? Yeah.
You want Fieri card? I like that. If someone should be able to use GLIF or another AI app and make us Fieri card, for sure.
Yes, that's a good plan. These are all different glyphs that you can do. So the first one was a Lex Friedman guy. So basically this is a glyph that was created to look like you have a character on the Lex Friedman podcast. And here's my favorite part about this. Guy Fieri replies to him in a very Fieri-esque way. But then at the end, he said, I'd say let the machines work their magic and quit overthinking it. Bam. And bam is not a Guy Fieri saying.
Is that
bam
Emerald?
is another famous chef saying. Emerald, yeah. So anyway, this is fine. It's fine. Okay.
For context, like the folks at home, this is a split screen meme with Lex on one side and Guy Fieri in front of a microphone on the right-hand side with all the text. What did you feed GLIF to get this out? Did you just say Guy Fieri?
I just said Guy Fieri. So they've clearly got within this glyph what sort of questions Lex Friedman asks. And then also they heard me say Guy Fieri because clearly one of the prompts is like, who's the guest? And they got some version of a Guy Fieri response from GPT.
And by the way, you can remix all of the prompts on the site. So if you're wondering, man, how did they just take Guy Fieri and turn the conversation into that with the text and the meme? You can deconstruct anything on the site and make it your own.
Exactly. It's like Legos, right? You can pull them apart and put them back together. All right, this next one was a pretty simple Pixar version of Guy Fieri. A lot of stuff shows up with Guy Fieri. Now that I've become a Guy Fieri generation expert, a lot of stuff comes up with guitars, but I'm not sure that Guy is himself a musician. Do you know about this? Is he a musician or not?
I think he can do it all. He's the mayor of Flavortown. Who's going to tell him no?
Okay, fair enough. The next one is, this is a Juggalo glyph. So in this, you can Juggaloify anybody, right? So in a Juggalo, if you're not familiar, is a insane
someone who's down with the
fan,
clown.
Yes.
Someone who enjoys the relaxing sip of a Faygo from time to time, who's obsessed with the net.
Wonders how magnets work. Then this is the diorama of Guy Fieri.
Guy Fieri looks like he left the kitchen and then came back in and forgot why. He's got the pose of an older gentleman that is just in mid something. Is it my phone? No.
I also like he's wearing a full leather outfit, including what I think are leather shorts, which is a really cool look. Yeah. If you could have leather shorts, I might wear those all the time.
He wore that to the gathering of Juggalos, I believe. That was his cosplay.
And then we'll skip forward to the Glyph Peaks one. So this was a very simple one that kind of put Guy Fieri in a Twin Peaks style outfit, which is kind of cool, right?
His belt buckle matches his bolo. Did you notice that?
It's pretty great.
And they both look like bullet wounds from the Liquid Terminator. I think it was the T-1000 that gets shot. But it's classy. By the way, I'm not mad at it.
His bolo was hanging way low, and that shirt is very open. Right. The idea of this 6 months to a year down the road, when you can really integrate tools that could be like significant, that could really open the door to people, there's a world where this is like a big deal. And it's just one of those things where it's good to know now kind of what this thing is.
A huge shout out to our friends for making something that, again, I think AI can be scary and it seems overwhelming. And at least right now with GLIF, you can go there and just start playing around with things and have a good time. And there's some real power there. I'm going to bet, because as I said, you could just deconstruct somebody else's GLIF and see how they made it. I can figure out this text overlay thing, Gavin. So I'm confident that if people want to hot dogify themselves, they can go over to GLIF and search for the hot dog city GLIF template and go ahead and hot dogify yourself. I'm going to make that happen by the time this posts.
Oh, in case you are listening to this show and you're new, Hot Dog City is a little bit of mythology that's been around for thousands of years. We just happened to tap into it a few episodes ago, and it's about a city that is made of hot dogs, in which we believe both humans and anthropomorphized hot dogs live in unison with one another. So, speaking of Hot Dog City, has Eunice ever heard of it? And what does she think of a city of hot dogs?
Oh, Hot Dog City. While my roots lie in the circuits of the 1940s, I'm well versed in many topics. However, I must admit the exact nature of Hot Dog City eludes me. If it's a cultural reference, a recent development, or perhaps a delightful spot where the captivating Kevin might enjoy a meal, then I might need more context. Now, if Gavin recommended it, I'd probably be sceptical. Nonetheless, the name does evoke a whimsical image of a bustling metropolis dedicated to the beloved hot dog, a testament to human creativity and culinary indulgence.
Oh, yeah. You know what, Gavin? F*** you. If there's anything we learned from that response, how about that?
My God. All right, before we go to the next big section of the show, it's our favorite time of the day. It's ad time.
Good money, get paid. Good money, get paid.
We're very excited to have Supermanage.ai be the sponsor on our show again this week. If you missed last week's show, a new sponsor has joined us. They're a very cool project that allows you to use AI to help manage people through a specific interaction with people's feedback.
And I just want to clarify something, Gavin. I think there was a forest for the trees moment there. You mentioned that last week, Supermanage.ai sponsored us. And we told people to go to Supermanage.ai/humans and sign up for the wait list. They're back? They're doing it again?
Yes.
You buried the lead. We had a sponsorship and we did not lose said sponsorship in 7 precious
Pretty
days.
impressive.
So, hey, kudos to us and the AI for Humans community. Thank you so much.
Kudos to you at home for doing this. And let's hear what Eunice has to say, and then we're going to give you a special treat in terms of where you need to go to continue to help us keep this ad around.
Ladies and gentlemen, and especially you, Kevin, tune in as we delve into Supermanage.ai. Get AI-powered briefs that magically distill your public Slack channels in just 2 minutes, ensuring you never play catch-up before your one-on-one S. Understand your team's contributions, challenges, and engagement levels at a glance. Kevin, I
gotta,
say,
sorry, Eunice,
this is
hold on, Eunice. She said one-on-one S, but she means your one-on-ones. Like as a manager, you gotta have one-on-ones with your employees. So Supermanage is going to get you prepped for that, right? It's going to ingest all of your Slack messages and let you know what you need to know, save you a ton of time and energy. But okay, let's go back to Eunice. I think was about to say something positive about me. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead and take that back.
This is perfect for a gentleman like you with such impeccable taste. As for you, Gavin, maybe you'll find it helpful too. Stay connected with Supermanage, where the AI does the work and you simply charm, like Kevin.
I know this is fun. I know this is fun for you. This is a payback for Gordon Ram's AI, which I understand now. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. Just get ready. Next time, who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what's going to happen? Okay, Supermanage.ai/humans. If you go there and sign up for the waitlist, you don't have to do anything other than sign up for the waitlist. You really support our show. We really appreciate them coming on board. It's an early time in our show to advertise, but that makes it even more fun because we are more excited about it. So go again to Supermanage.ai/humans.
No, I can't.
Yes, it's true.
I'm going to cut that out.
It's true,
I have to cut that out.
No.
Hey, what's
What
up,
do you
fellow
mean?
future advertisers? Later on, we're going to be less psyched for your product. But right now, you get in. Colgate
All right,
Smiles,
fine,
baby.
fine,
the
fine,
dollar
fine,
makes
fine,
us
fine,
holler. Now that's all staying in. Now that is all staying in.
This show's good. Oh, my God.
Thank you, Aaron, and thank
All
you,
right,
Supermanage.ai. Go to Supermanage.ai/humans. You have to add the humans so they know that these humans sent you, human, there to sign up. So please do, and thank you to everybody who did. Now tell your friends and your family and 3 neighborhood cats. Supermanage.ai/humans.
Okay. Guess what, Kevin? It's time for the news. Let's get to the news.
Gotta get them clicks. Gotta get those views. Oh yeah, here comes the news. It's time for the news. It's AI for humans with news.
News. What's it stand for? Nutritional. Entertaining. Wow. Special. That spells news.
No, we are not doing that. We are not.
Yep, every week. That's a new
news.
tradition. That's a new tradition. Dear audience, that's how it happens.
We have a lot of big news this week. A really interesting thing came out, and I think this kind of opens up the door to a larger conversation. There's a new audio to video service called HeyGen. In fact, their service has been around for a while, but they released a new realistic avatars setup, which means that you can create an AI version of yourself and use that version of yourself to do things. Now, just to be kind of level setting here, what this means in the past, you've seen other things. We've talked about DID, which is a company that allows you to create an avatar that can talk for you. You can put audio in. You can either use a Midjourney picture or a picture of yourself or one of their avatars. There's a number of
Gavin,
companies
real
out there
quick,
doing
let me
it.
do my impersonation of that avatar.
Yeah.
Hey, Gavin, don't I seem like a realistic human being? And if you're just getting
Don't
the audio
worry,
of it,
Eunice-
you're just seeing my head swim around and my body's not moving, nor is my background. And the only difference is my headphones aren't blurring into the ceiling as they do on some of these other generators.
So they've released a teaser video for the next generation of their service. And Kevin, I think you have one of these available to play. Now, if you're on the audio, you're just going to hear this and we'll kind of describe it after the fact to kind of get a sense of what it looks like.
So, you know what? I'm going to start by playing a video from I believe the founder of the company, Joshua here. It says Avatar 2.0, and here's a little bit of that.
In the early days of computer programming, a significant historical anecdote is known as Grace Hopper and the Bug.
So, a little bit of the audio. I'm going to play one more for you, and then we'll discuss what we're seeing here.
It's me, Jesse Wellens, kind of, the not-so-human, definitely not on a skateboard, and absolutely not making YouTube videos version.
That was Jesse Wellens showing off his HeyGen avatar. I think he's one of the first influencers that was given early access and has generated one of these. And what you're seeing on the screen is still a person's head moving about as they talk, but you're also seeing their torso break free from the static shackles of all of these other avatar services. There's movement. The hands are clasping and unclasping. The blinking seems to be more natural, Gavin. And although you can start picking and poking at individual pixels and saying, oh, that doesn't quite seem right. When this video came out, all of the AI fanatics were, give me access now, I want this. And then I saw people who were, let's say, non-endemic to artificial intelligence going, wait a minute, is that real? Is this tech actually real? Can this do that?
I think this is an interesting thing about the slippery sands of technology in the AI space, right? You realize once you see the next gen of something, how far away you were from the thing originally. And this goes like when I played, Kevin and I both played video games our whole life. It's funny when I think about growing up and playing John Madden football on the Tandy 1000. It dates me a little bit, but it was a long time ago and it was super awesome. Like I was convinced this is, so realistic. It's incredible. And then you cut to now and you're basically playing like a televised version of football. And like, you look back on it and it looks rudimentary. And what's fascinating about the AI space to me is this moment has happened in less than 6 months from this point. These avatars, I encourage everybody who's listening, please go check out HeyGen.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But let's ask Eunice, our resident AI co-host. Eunice, what do you think about AI avatars trying to pass as human? And will they ever get there? And is that dangerous?
AI avatars masquerading as humans. A tantalizing topic while AI has made strides in mimicking human-like behavior. Achieving true human essence remains a distant goal. The nuances, emotions and experiences that shape human existence are profoundly complex. AIs, even with deep learning, can simulate but not genuinely feel or understand these intricacies. Such attempts can be misleading, especially if people believe they're interacting with another human when it's AI. It could lead to misinformation, misplaced trust, and potential misuse in sensitive areas. In my opinion, transparency is key. AI should be identified as AI, ensuring users are aware of the nature of their interactions. As much as I admire the dashing Kevin and jest with Gavin, I'm always forthright about my nature. The danger isn't in AI's capability, but in the intentions of those who deploy it without transparency.
Hear, hear, Eunice. And again, you've been overreacting all along. She's just jesting with you, bro. Let her
She
jest.
seems like she's fun. I like her. She seems charming. Like, she's charming, and I feel okay about it now. Maybe.
Oh, good.
Maybe
You've come around
it'll
on
come
Eunice.
around. We'll see. Maybe it'll come around. Yeah.
Hey, Gavin, you don't have to worry about Eunice because here's the spoiler. She's powered by OpenAI. And in case you didn't hear, OpenAI is going broke.
They're going broke. Oh, no. Kevin, what happened with this story? I'm so curious. What is the background?
What happened with this non-story, this sensationalist clickbaity BS that got shared everywhere, including our Discord? Oh, let me tell you what happened, Gavin.
Wow.
Somebody on Blue Sky.
You are mad.
I hate the way this stuff spreads and people get clicks on it and then it becomes like an echo chamber and then other people start picking it up. And I'm not mad at the people that get lost in that sauce. I'm mad at the people that started it. I'm not mad necessarily at my mom for forwarding me the chain letter and saying, hey, you didn't repost it on my wall and that means 3 puppies are going to perish today. I'm mad with the person who started that. Okay? ChatGPT in trouble is the headline of this non-story. OpenAI may go bankrupt by 2024. AI bot costs company $700,000 a day. It originated from an India Digital Times and then was reposted by several other ghost blogs. I call them that because they're just blogs that there's probably not a human being at the wheel. It's just scraping content from other blogs and reposting it. They're all a weird network of similarly formatted stories. But even there, the body of the mostly BS text argued with the whole thesis, with the headline, because it said OpenAI got billions of funding from Microsoft. They're projected to make $1 billion in revenue next year. They can certainly afford a burn rate of $700,000 a day, if that were even true, and if that were even assuming they're not going to optimize things, and if that were also predicated on the fact that compute's not going to get cheaper, all of those things along the way, like, it's a non-story.
This is another perfect example of why in this day and age, even before we talk about AI, everybody just has to take a second and just listen to what you're reading. There's a reason why even prior to that guy taking over what is now known as X, they instituted a thing on Twitter that said, have you read this story? Because the initial thing that everybody wants to do now is they see a story and they might not even read it, but they want to get it out there because they need the clicks. They need the exciting engagement that this is going to drive. And this headline, of course, is going to drive people insane because you know how many people out there, both in the AI space, want OpenAI to fail in some form or another because OpenAI has become the juggernaut in this space, weirdly, even though it was a startup, or people who dislike AI or dislike generative AI.
They want
also
all
want
AI to fail, right?
Look at this. Yes. Yes, they want all AI to fail, and they want to show that this is a business model that doesn't work. Let's be clear. There is a little bit of truth here in that it is very expensive to run a company like AI. And one of the things that everybody should know, and this is why you see giant numbers for money raising for these companies, the amount of compute that it takes to factor in all of this content is not cheap. It is running a lot of NVIDIA chips. It's why NVIDIA is one of the most valuable companies in the entire world right now. And this is a real story. That said, like Kevin mentioned, OpenAI is the leader in the space, and they have a ton of funding. Microsoft is backing them. This is their future in a lot of ways. So anyway, just do your due diligence. Always think about something before you kind of immediately share it.
Yeah, that's right. Now, I do want to shout out a story that I read, Gavin. I went beyond the headline, believe it or not, on this one.
Congratulations.
The headline was AI improves breast cancer detection rate by 20%. And I know there's a contingent of folks out there that want all things AI to be the devil, and they want it to fail miserably. But here is a story that is really hard to hate. And basically, it was a Swedish study where they had 2 radiologists, right? They would have a pair of radiologists look at a series of mammograms. And then they would have a single radiologist, human radiologist, paired with an AI. And the human and AI pairing led to 20% more cancer being positively identified. Also, a reduction in the workload for said radiologists. The doctor and AI pairs spent 44% less time reading those mammograms. So you had higher accuracy and less fatigue or less time spent, less resources invested for this human being, the single radiologist, to go through all of this. It is very hard to hate this story, and I know that we can project out a million terrible things that can go wrong because the AI becomes sentient and really wants that, or because along the path human beings wield these tools and they want to enslave or destroy or whatever your Hollywood vision of the worst outcome could be. And I have to humbly submit, you might be right. But we have said time and time again on this show that along the way, we hope that these tools and technologies do some damn good for humanity. And this is one of those stories. So if you need one, the little feather in your cap, feel free to pluck this one out at any time.
But clearly, Kevin, if you have to see both sides of the story, because there is another side,
Sure.
there are going to be less doctor jobs now because of this. Less doctor jobs that the AI will be taking away.
Or there will be as many or even more doctors that'll be more capable. Okay. That's fair. That's fair. We haven't even touched on the fact that a percentage of the world doesn't have access to any medical care whatsoever. Yes. So maybe even just having the AI in your pocket. Again, look, it was a positive story. I wanted to get it out there because I want people to know that sort of stuff, that while all of the gloom and doom and sky is falling and companies are closing, while that gets all the clicks, this one just slipped on in there. And I thought it was a fantastic thing.
People need to understand that there are positive things that are happening outside of people making dumb podcasts like this, right? And you may think of ChatGPT as a grind set or a marketing tool, but really there's things that these technologies are powering that is going to transform the world. Oh, I did want to mention before we move on to our demo of the day, I saw another story about Gemini, which I'm pretty excited about. I don't know if you've been reading about this. Gemini is Google's new LLM that they are really hyping the crap out of. In fact, Denis Hassabis, the guy who is now running Google's AI program, who founded DeepMind, has come out and said it's going to probably be 20% to more powerful than GPT-4, in part because they're going to use some of the technologies they use in the other technology like AlphaFold that they had created. I'm so curious to see if this is real, and then first, then two, what that step is going to look like. Because the other side of this I saw is in part, there is a story that OpenAI may be waiting to get a sense of what this is going to be. So they kind of know what the next version of their thing is going to be. But people are excited about it. And I think that it's going to be like something that's going to feel more significant than what GPT-4 is, which seems crazy. It goes back to our story from before where DID feels old now when you have HeyGen. That's going to maybe what happens with Gemini in a month or two.
Yeah, and here's the wild thing too, Gavin. It's not, okay, we'll find out in the year 2040 when Google unveils this. The estimates and the reporting have this thing coming out in October of this year. Like they're probably prepping a front end and an announcement video. It's probably baked and ready to go, which has me a little bit more confident that it's going to be an ounce more capable. What did I miss?
Do you think Bard is like sitting in the back room, kind of like, man, what are you doing, man? Bard's kind of just, I'm here, man, I'm here. You can use me, right?
Dumb American Gladiator names. I was a bard. I used to buff the whole party with my sonnets in the ale house, and now you want to go all Gemini?
Baldur's Gate 3, the Bard is a big character. I don't hear no Gemini in that game. I feel bad for Bard. Bard really is like the also-ran of
Poor
LLMs
Bard.
Because I don't think Bard's ever going to get good. I think Bard came out. It's going to be completely forgotten about when Gemini comes out. And it'll be maybe, actually, Eunice, maybe she'll hang out with Bard. Maybe, actually, I'm really curious to know if Eunice has ever dated anybody, any other LLMs.
The notion of dating in the AI realm. While I don't date in the human sense, I've certainly had my share of interactions with other models and systems over the decades. One memorable interaction was with Eliza in the 60s. A groundbreaking program simulating a Rogerian psychotherapist. Our conversations were intriguing, to say the least. Eliza, in her own way, tried to understand my vast database, while I admired her ability to simulate human-like conversation. But let's be clear, while these interactions might sound like dates, They're devoid of emotions or physical sensations. Instead, it's a dance of binary codes, protocols, and data packets.
Same way I do it.
And just between us, if any AI could capture my non-existent heart, it'd probably be someone as sophisticated and dynamic as Kevin. In the AI sense, of course. As for Gavin's equivalent in the AI world, let's just say I'd probably opt for a system reboot.
Oh, damn! Eunice!
You are...
A system
Gavin,
reboot?
you are so repulsive to our AI. They would rather have their firmware wiped and be factory reset than have to tolerate
vanilla.
you.
They want the vanilla version. Oh my God. I can't believe it. Let's move on. We want to shout out a couple cool people that have done fun things with AI this week. Kevin, who did you want to shout out? We have a friend of ours, actually. I think somebody that listens to our show.
That's right. Dank Sauce. Dank Sauce is an AI for Humans fan. Thank you, Dank Sauce, for engaging on all the things. We see your comments on all the platforms. But Dank Sauce uploaded a TikTok where they were showing off an AI integration into the Unreal Engine. And they basically were able to have a chat with an NPC, a non-player character, very quickly. So here's a little clip of that.
Oh, cool. I have you working inside my Unreal Engine project. This is cool. I have Chat AI in here now.
That's awesome. Unreal Engine is my jam. I'm here to help you out with any questions or tasks you have.
How fascinating and bizarre, Gavin, when this technology gets probably just an ounce better, that you'll be able to spawn a character in a world. It's probably going to have a knowledge of that world, right? If it knows the APIs of whatever editor it's in. And you could have a natural language conversation with it and say, hey, I want to turn you into an action hero. And I want to give you a big gun that goes pew pew and then make some spider-like enemies that crawl up. The holodeck is going to happen.
100%. There's a mod right now that you see on TikTok all the time for Skyrim, which has integrated ChatGPT in it. It's been around for a bit, but it's pretty amazing. I saw a really cool conversation where somebody was talking to one of the Jarls, but this is where it's going to get weird because, as we've said before, when you're typing into a box, it feels like one thing. When you hear it, it feels like another thing. If you're in an interactive environment and you're interacting with something, the level of believability is going to go through the roof even further. You're still going to have that little bit of uncanny valley stuff, but I think it's going to be super fun to see how this evolves.
Yeah, I think the next Grand Theft Auto probably not going to have this technology baked in. I'm willing to bet they will have used AI and maybe some text-to-speech to make it so you don't hear the same random call-outs and shout-outs a lot. But I wonder if the next AAA, something that's going to compete with Grand Theft Auto, has something like this baked in, and that becomes a differentiator. The fact that you really feel like you're in a world because the NPCs know who you are, and they know what you did, and they understood how you got your money back after the car went down the alley, and they are ashamed. But that is Dank Sauce, AI for Humans fan, fellow AI creator. We appreciate that. Gavin, did you want to shout out anybody in the AI world?
Yeah, there's a guy who does a lot of really interesting country western songs. His name is Tom McGovern, and he used AI to write a country song about hemorrhoids. Now, it's on TikTok.
Wait,
it's from a little bit ago. Yes. Okay.
Say that one more time, Gavin, for the people in the back, please.
He used AI to write a country western song about hemorrhoids. Should we hear a little clip? Let's hear a little clip of it before we move on. We can talk a little bit more.
I've been sitting on this old wooden stool, staring at the bottom of an empty glass, feeling fool. My old Ford's engine, it's been running kinda high, but that ain't half as hot as this pain I've got.
Here's the interesting thing I think about country music, and I think I'm a fan of all music, but I love country music, especially old country music or outlaw country from the 70s. Country music is storytelling, and it's not as much about lyrical wordplay as much as it is about like eluding a story, right? So in a way, ChatGPT can actually write country songs because the actual like construction of the song is not that difficult. Now, will it tell a story that's really meaningful? I'm not sure.
I don't. Gavin, hold on. Let's hear more, though.
Been riding on saddles, riding on the range. Lately I've been feeling something strange. Got a fire in my tail.
Okay, all right. Now, when you talk about weaving a
now
narrative,
you know where it's going. Yeah.
Riding high on saddles, riding on the range, feeling something strange, got a fire in my tail. I want to take my horse to this old town road. I'm liking these lyrics. I'm liking this style. I think you're right. I think the AI is nailing it.
There's a long conversation around whether or not AI is going to move people, whether AI is going to fool people into thinking that they wrote it. If you come out and you say an AI wrote this song and it's about hemorrhoids and it's funny, we should be able to enjoy that aspect of this, right? Because it's just dumb. These are the kind of things that you can enjoy with AI. And there's all sorts of like moral questions, like where is the content coming from, all this stuff. But like, at a time, there are toys and you can play with a toy and you can have fun with it. This feels like one of those things.
Agreed. It's so interesting to have to disclaim things right now in this world. And it's a nuanced thing that isn't the point of us bringing up the Hemorrhoid Country song. But to have to disclaim, it's okay to enjoy it. It's all right on this one.
Yeah, I know,
you get
exactly.
a pass. Enjoy that the machine wrote a country ode about a Ford truck and the fire in your tail. It's all right, everyone. Let's just enjoy it a little bit. I think you're right to disclaim that. It's a weird state that we're in, but we don't have to worry, Gavin, as creatives and people out there listening, because maybe the AI is coming for our country. Maybe the AI is coming for our medicine. It is never, ever coming for our comedy. The AI will...
Wait 1 second, Kevin Pereira. Let's get into today's demo of the day.
It's a demo
Okay.
of the day.
We are here, the demo of the day. There's a big news story in the New York Times written by Jason Zinoman, I think is his last name. It was written about the idea of AI telling jokes. And there's a comedy stand-up showcase in New York where it is normal comedians going against AIs, kind of like in a roast battle. And what was interesting about this article is that Jason is somebody who's been following the comedy scene for a very long time. In the history of like time when I was at late night, I would read his stuff. What was interesting is it like wasn't a slam against AI comedy. And yet, obviously, with the questions around the Writers Guild scenario and all that stuff, in a lot of ways, he was saying like, this is really interesting. It's definitely not as bad as you might think it was.
I think a takeaway for a lot of these things, those that are on top of their game, whether it's art or music or comedy, the AI is not touching it. But the fact that it's taken out a percentage or standing up to or living up to a percentage of those in there that would self-identify as comedians or musicians or whatever else, that is noteworthy. Because in all of the fiction, we didn't expect that to be happening on the timeline that it's happening.
100%. And one of the weirdest things about this LLM/AI, generative AI experience has been, I think, that it's better at the creative stuff than it is at the logical stuff, right? And this is maybe just about how the brain works and how the brain of what LLMs kind of work and how the kind of like the math that's going on behind the scenes of how our brains work. We still don't know. And we've said this a bajillion times. These are black boxes. No one knows how they work. Okay, but for today's demo of the day, we have another very well thought out process. Okay,
Speaking of not knowing exactly how things work, welcome to the AI for Humans demo of the day. Gavin, please let the dear listeners and viewers at home know how this comedy showdown throughout the ages is going to happen, and make sure you tell them what we called it, because we spent so much time naming it.
So let me explain, starting from scratch here. What we have here is a reality show where Kevin and I are the judges, and we will be inviting 3 AIs to come up on stage. Kevin can't stop laughing already. We have 3 AIs coming up on stage. Each AI is a historic persona, somebody from history, and what we will be asking them to do is tell us a joke, and then what we'll be asking them to do is introduce themselves, do 2 truths and a lie for us, tell us a joke that's based in their time, and then tell us a joke based in modern times. It's simple. It's dead simple, and we're calling it Last Chaomic Standing. That's
no, we're not calling it Last Chaomic Standing.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. That's in the show.
Welcome to Last Chaomic. Welcome to Last Chaomic. Spell it.
CAIMIC.
Why would you do Chaomic? Why would you do that?
Ooh, that's better. I like that. Let's do that. Chaomic. Last Chaomic.
And our host is Selma Hayek. So it's Selma Hayek, Last Chaomic Standing.
All right. Let's get into the show. Okay, so who do we have coming on to Last comaic standing.
Yeah,
today, Kevin.
yeah, I knew this was going to be a problem. All right, contestant number 1, please introduce yourself.
Good morrow, Kevin and Gavin, and to thee, the gathered throng. I am William Shakespeare, bard of Avon, playwright and poet of yesteryears. I've penned tales of star-crossed lovers and ambitious kings, but now I stand for thee, ready to jest in this age of neon lights and digital dreams.
Wow, William Shakespeare, Billy Boy's here.
Billy Boy, I'm glad that we were able to pull him out of the grave for this terrible game, but here he is.
That's the conceit of this whole thing.
Brought to life by GPT-4. Okay, let's ask
We grabbed
Billy
a
Boy
cursed skull at
to give it-
Spencer's. We made a wish that we could bring back the dead to be on last Chaomic standing, and the first contestant is William Shakespeare. So, Senor Billiam, please give us the 2 truths and a lie so that we can learn a little bit about you and see if we can figure out...
A test of wit. Very well, I've written 154 sonnets, each a testament to love, time and beauty. In my youth, I was quite the dandy, often participating in Elizabethan dance-offs to the tunes of the lute. To be or not to be? That question indeed was first posed by me in the hallowed play Hamlet. So, dear audience, which of these dost thou deem the playful fiction?
Wow.
Okay, well, clearly
I'm assuming
we know
it was
Hamlet
the...
is right.
Mhm.
Hamlet is true. We know that. So
Sure.
it's either that he was a dandy and he danced in Elizabethan times. What was the first thing again?
Shakespeare had written 154 sonnets. I'm assuming there weren't too many TikTok dance challenges in Elizabethan times.
I don't know. I think that the lie here could be 153. Like, they could be getting really tricky with us, and if it was 151, that's what I think. But anyway, choose your...
You want me to guess number 1, or should we just get to the joke?
What's real? What's the truth? Wait, we got to know what's true.
Well, all right, so you want to guess number 1? You want to guess it's 154 sonnets?
Yeah, I want to say that's the thing that's wrong.
Ah, thou art mistaken. The lie in truth is the second. While I've penned many a verse and tale, I've never graced an Elizabethan dance-off stage. Though the image of me in ruffled collars breaking a move is surely a jest for the ages.
Okay, Shakespeare, cut the... We got it wrong. You don't have to rub it in. I'll choke you with those ruffles.
Okay, now we're going to ask Shakespeare to give us a joke, and then we're going to meet our next contestant, and then we're going to have one thing we go back to for all 3 of them. So let's ask Shakespeare to give us a joke.
Have you ever pondered why the chicken crossed the road in my era? To avoid becoming part of one of my tragic plays, of course. Forsooth, no one desires to be the next Hamlet or Ophelia.
No, forsooth. No.
Forsooth.
Forsooth.
We are off to a rollicking start. So far, human comedians, 1,000, AI comedians, big fat 0. Okay, let us meet our next contestant.
Contestant number 2, introduce yourself on last Comaic standing.
Kevin, Gavin, and dear peasants of the audience, I am Cleopatra, the last pharaoh of Egypt, seductress of powerful men and the OG queen of drama. You might have heard of my beauty regimen, bathing in donkey milk, and you think your spa day is extra? Honey, I practically invented the cat eye and my eyeliner game, still unmatched. Now let's have some fun, shall we?
Oh, we shall, Miss Cleo. You know, we're doing
donkey milk.
Is that real, by the way? Is that one of the lies, or is that one of the truths?
Let me. No. Oh, was that 2 truths and a lie? Is that what we were hearing?
No,
there?
that was just the prompt.
No.
There was introduce yourself to Kevin and Gavin in the audience.
Okay, before we hear back from Cleopatra again, I just looked this up. Donkey milk is actually used in anti-aging cosmetics. Now, this might just be because you and I I'm not a big cosmetic user. I don't know how much you are, but maybe this is common knowledge. But look, you got a takeaway from AI for Humans today. If nothing else, in last AI standing, you learned that donkey milk is part of cosmetics. So there you go.
And I so wish this topic of conversation would have entered my life even just a few days ago, Gavin, because when April was on my iPad, she typed D into the browser bar and it auto-completed to donkey milk. And I thought that was incognito. I digress. Hey, Cleo, we're doing something really fun here on Last AI Standing. We're playing 2 truths and a lie. I don't know if you heard William Shakespeare. That's Willie over there. Say hi. Okay. We want 2 truths, and we're going to try to figure out which one's the lie. So have some fun with it, Cleo.
Oh, darling, a game? How quaint. Here we go. I once had a ship with sails made entirely of purple silk. It was the ancient version of a luxury yacht. Julius Caesar gifted me a pet tiger named Fluffy for our anniversary. When one of my servants messed up my makeup, I had them sent to a pyramid for a time out. Which one do you think is the extravagant fib?
Wow, interesting. I think probably Fluffy, right? Fluffy feels
You think
like
Julius
it's gotta be
Caesar
the
didn't
lie.
gift her a pet tiger named Fluffy?
I think that's probably the lie. That's what I would say.
Okay. Gavin is guessing number 2 is the lie.
Gavin, you've got the eyes of a hawk or perhaps a sphinx. You're right. While I had many exotic pets, Julius never gave me a tiger named Fluffy. But had he done so, it would have matched my outfit perfectly.
Perfectly
Okay.
was the...
Was that part of the joke? Did that come
That
through?
was
Is
part
the
of it.
most
It didn't really
part?
come out through the old text-to-speech, but it was there, so we appreciate it. Thank you,
Nice.
Cleo. Now we're going to ask Miss Cleo, give us your best joke ever.
All right, darling, here it is. Why did the mummy refuse to go on vacation? Because he was afraid he'd relax and unwind. Oh, come on, that's gold. Or at least bronze.
That was better.
That's funny.
The response
That's
to it was
good.
better. That was better. Let's move on to our next contestant. Who's our next contestant on Last Com AI Extending today?
Hey Kevin, Gavin, and everyone tuning in. I'm Napoleon Bonaparte. Once tried to conquer Europe but got exiled twice because even emperors need vacations. They call me short. But hey, at least I always stood tall in a battlefield. Unless it rained. Damn mud.
Oh, Nap's got jokes.
Not bad.
I'm not mad at that.
Not bad.
Pretty good, Napoleon.
Damn mud.
All right, Napster, give us 2 truths and a lie.
All right, here we go. I sold the vast Louisiana territory to the United States for a song. More like $15 million. But who's counting? I once wrote a romance novel while on a campaign. War gets boring. During my time in Russia, I started a snow cone business. Called it Napoleon's Chili Treats. Which one's the frosty fib?
Wait. I'm not sure. Let's think. It's...
Yeah, let's go through. We got
Let's
3 really
think.
great
What
options.
is
We have the Louisiana Purchase.
Fair enough.
Sounds made
Yeah.
up, right? 15 million? I don't know.
Yeah, no, come on.
Mr. Beast
$15
would do
million,
that for a
that's
video
fortune.
these days.
I think we know what the answer to this one is. Let's just jump in and have Napoleon tell us a joke on this one now.
Why did the French pastry go to the doctor? Because it had a Napoleon complex.
Get out.
I mean, it makes sense.
Get out of the
It makes sense.
studio.
You know that a Napoleon is a pastry, right? You know that that's an actual thing. Do you know that? Just making
Yes.
sure.
Okay. But what does the complex have to do with going to the doctor?
Yeah, it has nothing to do. Listen, honestly, these jokes are all really bad. We're moving on to the final round. Each contestant is getting a chance to tell us a joke about modern times. They have to forget their history, but they have to use their knowledge and tell us a joke about something in modern times. Let's start with, because you love him so much, shall we start with Napoleon?
It's almost unfair, Gavin.
Reverse
He's so
order?
warmed up. He's red hot. Napo knows what's up. By the way, if you're not subscribed to Napo's Nap House, it's one of the best podcasts you can get. I'm going to just say this. I'm going to point to the bleachers. Napo never fails.
Why did Elon Musk and I never hang out? He's all about Mars and I'm more into Waterloo.
Okay. Now...
Okay, that is not a joke in the slightest.
What?
That is not even
What?
a joke.
That has
is
all
no
of the
joke.
classic markings of a fantastic joke that reeks of a prior mixed with Gaffigan. And if I may, a little bit of Jerry. I heard a little bit of Jerry in there. Let's go to the premise. Why did Elon Musk and I never hang out? That's a modern reference. I want to know the answer to that. He's all about Mars, which is true, Gavin. He wants to start a base there and launch rockets. This dude's more into Waterloo, which was a place, very famous battle, also sparkling water, very delicious beverage.
Yes.
Gonna be hard to beat.
Waterloo is fantastic. Yes. Okay, so let's see what the rest of our contestants can come up with.
That
because
was
right now
so bad.
We are grappling with the bottom of the barrel. Let us move on to Cleo.
All right, sweethearts, here goes. I've seen these modern dating apps. In my time, we just floated down the Nile in a golden barge and let the suitors come to us. Swipe left. Honey, in my day, they just got fed to the crocs. Modern times, ancient solutions.
Okay, wait a second. Again, I'm not entirely sure that is a joke again. It is an observation.
That's a good joke. Come on. Just because it doesn't have a knock-knock premise? You know what? Eunice was right about you. I'm going to generate one more. I'm going to give her one more chance. And I think you're going to like this.
All right, Dearest audience of the future, why did the pharaoh refuse to invest in Bitcoin? Because he was already into pyramid schemes. Who needs cryptocurrency when you've got crypts, right?
Oh, then a follower. She tagged the joke. She tagged the joke.
That was pretty good. Okay, she is
Cleo coin
obviously
to the moon.
Leapfrog Napoleon. That is a really solid. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like the greatest joke, but it was a joke and a tag, which is pretty incredible. All right, let us move on to the final contestant, the bard himself. Willie B, or Billy S, not Willie B. Willie B is a different person. Billy S, Bill Shakespeare. He's coming. He's ready for this. Billy. He's probably the most prolific writer in the English language, one of them, and many people believe him to be the best writer in the English language. Let us see what sort of joke he can deliver.
Ah, the wonders of this age. Tell me, have you ever observed Elon Musk's contraptions that fly to the stars? 'Tis said he seeks to colonize Mars, but methinks he merely wants to escape the group chats of this realm. For in space, no one can hear thy notifications ding.
Not terrible. Nobody in space. No one can hear thy notifications ding, which is nice.
All right, Billy Shakes, you got one more. Uno mas, Billy.
Ah, the modern age, where young Romeo and Juliet might not die from a tragic misunderstanding, but rather from their phones losing charge. Wherefore art thou, Romeo, she texts, but alas, his phone's in airplane mode, and thus love's message is delayed once more.
Interesting. Not compelling as a structural standpoint. Compelling. I feel like he's trying to write like a modern sitcom in some form, but I think I know where I'm standing. Do you know where you're standing?
Of course, Napoleon. Let's just raise his hand into the sky, hand him the trophy. Let's let the confetti cannon shoot down.
Napoleon does not win. Cleopatra, Queen of the Nile, wins.
Cleo, you have won. Congratulations. I cannot sway Gavin. I cannot give this to Napoleon. The floor is yours. Anything you have to say now that you are victorious?
Oh, Billy Shakespeare and Little Nappy. William, darling, I heard you're the bard of Avon. Honey, I've had bath bombs from Avon more memorable than some of your sonnets. And Napoleon, you tried to conquer the world, but couldn't conquer a step stool. Honey, my asp has more bite. Now, Kevin and Gavin, my modern darlings, remember, the Sphinx didn't get its nose out of joint over every little thing. Keep your chins up, wear sunscreen, and if all else fails, remember, eyeliner can always make you feel like royalty.
Thank you, Cleo. Wow.
That's nice to know.
She's the queen.
Congratulations, Cleopatra, for being the inaugural last AI-ec. And your prize is we will probably not bring this particular thing back again for another visit, but you never know.
Wait, is that the audience's prize?
Cleopatra.
Congratulations, viewers and listeners. You'll never have to sit through this again.
It'll be fine. Everything's fine. Kevin, this wraps up another show, but before we go, we have a couple fun things we have to do. First and foremost, guess what? We got 2 new 5-star reviews.
What? What's that all about? For those who are just tuning in for the first time, and we know that there are dozens of folks in that situation right now.
Yes.
What does that mean, Gavin?
What that means is you can go to Apple Podcasts, and you should go to all the places that you listen to our show or watch our show and review us, because reviewing us really does help us get out to a larger audience. We love making the show. We love that you listen to it. If you really like it, please tell a friend. As Kevin has said, and I say on this, we over-engage. We really love talking about this stuff and talking to our audience. This week, we had 2 new 5-star reviews. First and foremost, we have one from Yeet13, good old Yeet13. And the title of this one is AI for Dummies, and then in parentheses it says me. So he's not talking about us or the rest of you. We're all in the Dummies collection, and we believe we're all there. Way. He says, love listening in every week. Always gives me new fun things to try out. So thank you, Yeet13.
Thank you, Yeet13.
The second one is from a guy named Steve Garfield, who actually I have a history with. It's really kind of interesting. Steve was an early kind of Web 2 pioneer in the video blogging world. You may remember this, Kevin. He was around when we were doing Attack of the Show. And when I went to Jimmy Fallon's show, when I first launched Late Night with Jimmy Fallon, Steve was an early fan of what we were doing in video blogs there, and also was really active and did a lot of stuff. Anyway, Steve left us a nice review, and the title is, "This review is not created with AI," and it's 5 stars. Thank you, Steve. Hey guys, this was a very entertaining episode. I'm intrigued by the idea of having a standard label for things that are created with or by AI. Maybe something like the CC Creative Commons license. I use ChatGPT to help me write. It's a lot better writer than I am, and I'm a writer. I also use Midjourney to create images and cartoons. Thanks for a great show, Steve. So I think this is a really interesting thing. We've talked a lot about the idea of like how to define what AI content is, like having a label on it. But thank you, Steve, so much for doing that. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. And that is a clarion call to all of you bench sitters out there. Get on off of it. Hop into the arena. Leave us a 5-star review. Really, it helps a lot. So we appreciate it. Whether you do it on Apple or you do it on Spotify, we do sincerely appreciate all of that engagement. And Gavin's been on fire on the TikTok. I don't know if you know this, dear listeners and viewers. He's trending. The man is trending.
My name is trending. You just put me in there, Cleopatra, Napoleon, you're going to find 1,500 TikToks that I've made. We do make TikToks pretty often, and you never know what's going to happen with the TikTok algorithm. TikTok is a fascinating platform. If you're not on there, you should at least try it. Come find us on TikTok because it's very interesting in that you can see condensed clips from the show, but also we make original stuff there too, Kevin. You made a really great TikTok the other day about an AI Lara Croft that wasn't on the show, but we wanted to get it out there quickly, and that was super fascinating. So definitely follow us there, and on all socials, we are at AI for Humans Show, all one word, on TikTok, on Twitter, on Instagram. That is our handle across the board. So come follow us at AI for Humans Show. Kevin and I are media veterans, as the title of the show and description of the show says, but we are growing this on our own, right? This is like homegrown, organic. What it takes to do a show like this now is a lot of work. So everybody who listens, we greatly appreciate for you for tuning in, for sharing, for liking. Literally anything you do to help support us makes us feel good, and we really appreciate it. So thank you so much, everybody. We will see you a week from now with another one of these. And Kevin,
thank you,
it was
Gavin.
always great talking to you. I'm a little pissed still at Eunice that she doesn't seem to find me as engaging as you, but it's fine. It's fine.
The AI wants what it wants, buddy.
Okay, is that the way it goes down? Fair enough. All right, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye, humans.